Hello, this is Mr. Muller for lesson 5-4, the slope formula. Alright, so in 5.2, 5.3, we learned different ways to find slope. In 5.4, it's going to be the same thing. We're learning a different way to find slope. Remember, whichever way you think is easiest, whichever way works for you is the way you should use. I'm just giving you different kinds of examples. So remember, slope refers to the steepness of the line, and the ratio or the fraction in which we compare slope is the y coordinate on top over the x coordinate, and we call it rise over run. So how much we're going to go up and down first versus how much we're going to go left to right first. Okay, and this is our big formula for today. So it looks a little more confusing than it really is. So it's really subtracting my y's. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we're just going to leave it as a fraction. We're not going to solve it or do anything with that. We will simplify it if we can, but other than that, we're not going to do anything with it. Okay, so here's my first set of coordinate pairs. So 2, 5. Here's my second set, 8, 1. Okay, and remember, it goes in alphabetical order. So the 2 is going to be my x, the 5 is going to be my y, the 8 is going to be my x, the 1 is going to be my y. So when I'm subtracting things here, so I have y2, here's the second set, so 1 minus y1, so 5, so I have 1 minus 5, which is going to equal -4. Over, let's put a line there, my x coordinates. So my x pair, my second x is 8, minus my first x, which is 2. So I'm going to end up with 8 minus 2, which is 6. So I'm left with -4 over 6, which then I can simplify to -2/3. So that would be my slope. So that means I would go down 2, since it's a -2, and right 3, since it's a +3. Okay? Same thing with this one in blue. So I'm subtracting my x's. So I have -2 minus a -2, which is going to equal 0, because remember what happens to that minus minus? It makes a plus. And then for my x's, I have 7 minus a -2. So again, I have a minus minus, which is going to make a plus. So it's going to make it a 9. So 7 plus 2, which is 9. And then 0 over 9 is just going to be a 0 slope. Okay, let's do this one in red over here. So I have -4 minus a -7. So again, we see that minus minus, which will turn into a plus. So I'm going to end up with a +3. And then for my x's, I have 6 minus 5, which is going to equal 1. So I have 3 over 1. Okay, so that's how I find my slope when I have two pairs. We could go back and do it like we learned the other day, where we're counting, and we're going to find out that it's really the same answer. So I'm going to go for the slope here. I'm going to go up 1, up 2. So my slope is 2 over. And I'm going to go right 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 over 4, which is really the same as 1/2. Okay, now let's do the math using the formula. So let's say this is my second equation here. This is my first. So my y2, my y in my second, is a 3, minus my y1, which is a 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. Over my x's, which is 4, minus 2, which equals 2. So no matter what, I'm still going to end up with 1/2. So now you're going to hopefully see, when they give you a graph and tell you to find the slope, you can still count and figure out your slope. But it's really nice if they give you the points too, because then you can kind of double check it. Or if they just give you the points now, you don't have to go back and graph those 2 points now to figure out what the slope is to count it out. You still can, but now we know that if you subtract your x's and subtract your y's, you can still figure it out. And even if you get a table, it doesn't matter. It's going to still work the same way. No matter which 2 points I pick, I'm still going to end up with the same slope. So let's say I pick 5 minus 3 here. So I'm going to end up with 2. And then I end up with negative 2 minus negative 1. So negative 2 plus 1, which is going to be a negative 1. I'm going to end up with negative 2 over 1. And that was me picking these first 2 slopes here. What happens if I pick these next ones over here? I'll still get the same answer. So let's do that math. So I end up with 1 minus negative 1, so 1 plus 1, which is 2, over 0 minus 1, which is negative 1. So no matter what, I end up with 2 over negative 1. So no matter which ones I pick, so if you start saying that, oh, somebody else picked 2 different points on the graph, that's why you got 2 different answers, that is not true. No matter what, you will end up with the same slope, no matter which 2 problems or which 2 points you select to subtract from.